Well, howdy everyone at the M.I.R.F.C. This here's Joe Exotic, and welcome to the Tiger King themed episode of Exec Update. I'm your host, Joe Exotic. I'm here with Joe Exotic and Joe Exotic. And now to get this all started, I'm going to turn it to my pal, Joe Exotic, for a little song.
'Cause I saw Tiger, and now I understand. I saw Tiger, and a tiger's all man.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
So first question here to President Joe Exotic. And you know what? I'm going to drop the voice. This is a serious topic. So, James, maybe you can tell us a bit about, what's going on with COVID and the club and all that kind of stuff. And give us a bit of update there.
All right. Well, just before we get to the serious bit, I'd like to show you guys my little artwork that I had done for my transformation to Joe Exotic. Hope you like my sleeve. Okay.
Looking good, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. And okay. COVID. COVID sucks. That's for sure. What are we doing? Well, we're not playing rugby for a little while longer, and that's not fantastic, but I guess we probably all kind of saw that coming. The official decision, if no one has seen it, is that there's no rugby until June 30th. What are the Irish doing behind the scenes? Well, our executive is super active and involved and working hard so that when this is over, we're going to be up and rolling in a way we probably haven't rolled in a long, long time. And so we're using this time where there is kind of nothing to actually physically organize to get things behind the scenes straightened out. That's from an admin perspective. And for the club itself, well, we're doing as much support as we can for the club. Dave, your Cribs videos are awesome. And you're leading up a little bit of a group there. So maybe I'll throw it back to you, and maybe you can talk about what that group's doing to manage COVID and to kind of provide support to our members if anyone's reaching out, and what those resources are, et cetera.
Yeah. Well, firstly, I'd say, so that people know, we have a little group together that I reached out to James and Connor and the exec, and I offered to help and put together a few things. So we got some people in the background sort of working on some stuff. Some of the things we're working on, obviously, is content creation. We want to keep engaged with the members. And what's been really, really exciting for me is I've actually heard back from a whole bunch of people. A lot of people I haven't spoken to in a few years. Like Red reached out, and Kaylin, and Have a Chat, Nancy. Just a plethora of people reaching out and saying that they've been following us on social media and that. So it's that's been really cool, and it's been really enjoyable to hear from people, especially people I haven't heard from in a while. So there's that. We're also working on putting together a list of volunteer and job opportunities that people can peruse. The longer this goes on, the tougher it's going to be on people, and we want to make sure that we're a resource both to keep people entertained and hopefully to point people in the right direction in terms of finding work or finding meaningful things to do while they're at home. So those are kind of the big things that we're working on right now.
Cool. And I know we've talked in just briefly about in the future maybe compiling a list of our healthcare family, people who are working on the front lines. So just a shout out to those people, all the people who are working in hospitals, whatever your role is. Thank you so much for showing up to work every day in a high risk environment. says my internet connection is unstable. Well, it's gone. And not just you guys, but grocery stores, everybody who's out there and actually working and interacting and doing stuff and keeping up your day to day. We really appreciate it. You're kind of holding society together by the fabric. So thank you for that. And thanks, Dave, for leading that up and, showing everybody and just taking care of our club, taking care of the whole club family. Myself as well. I've had a lot of people reach out to me that I haven't spoken to or talked to, communicated with in a long time. It's really great. So it's sometimes unfortunate that difficult things make us kind of reach out to each other, but the good thing is that's what we do. So and that's another open call to anybody if you're feeling like you need something, anything, socialization, groceries delivered, a phone call, a chat. Don't hesitate. Reach out to anyone in the club, and I'm sure they'll be really happy to hear from you and to spend some time with you and get you over whatever hump you're dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely, James, and I totally echo what you're saying. Anyone who's out there providing essential services,
Like tiger breeding,
kudos. And if anyone in the club, pardon?
Like
tiger breeding, did you say? Yeah. Yeah. Let me shift the focus a little bit. Let me ask Connor. Let me ask you a question. So, Connor, I know you've been super actively involved in a lot of different facets in the club, and specifically in the last few years, taking over the position of vice president. And I was wondering if you could speak to, the communication for the plan, or the communication plan for the club, the website and that kind of stuff. I know we just had an email from John and Dennett, who said he was appreciating this type of communication. So maybe this will give him a bit more information.
Yeah. I think over the last couple of years, we've heard a lot of feedback from different members throughout the club regarding the communications and how it's been positive in some areas, or not necessarily negative, but needing of work in other areas. And we've definitely been taking all that feedback and trying to put it into a new communication programs, if you will. I don't know why I just did the things, but basically what we're doing is we've been using email, Facebook, MailChimp, Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook. What's the other one? TeamSnap. And we just understand that we have way too many platforms that we're currently using for communication. And the goal is that we want to consolidate all the communication we have in order to maximize our reach and keep everyone in the community aware and just in the know of what's going on. So we've been having conversations with different platforms, one of which is Sport Lomo, because they do have capabilities of providing us a communication platform that actually syncs with our website as well. And the website really should be kind of the first and foremost area where anyone can go and find out more about the Irish. And it should be simple and legible and up to date. So knowing that, we've been having, I think, James, you've had conversations with other members as well with Sport Lomo regarding that platform, how we can maximize it while consolidating everything into the same area. And I think so far it's been positive, and we're looking further into that. But, in summary, essentially what we're trying to do is expand our reach to all of our members while keeping it organized and kind of eliminating any kind of silos that we have in communications while keeping the cost down. So I think so far we're making some real positive traction on it. And the idea is that we have this all ready to go by the time we're playing rugby again.
And Connor, would this cover communications, let's say, outside of the playing membership? Because I know, for instance, the old boys have a mailing list that they use, I think, to great effect in a certain sense. So I'm not sure, and the older generations are a bit loath to try new technologies.
Yeah. So it is a challenge, but it's something that's not overly complicated, is just taking all of our contacts that we have and the word I'm missing the word, but essentially moving them over to another platform, exporting. Yeah. The idea is, for example, if we were to pick one platform, and we'll just use Sport Lomo for example, I'm not saying we're going to pick it, but imagine we have Sport Lomo. We'll be able to split communications into each grade of each team, of each, men's, women's, juniors, minis programs. We'd be able to create different groups. We'd also have a whole major group, which would be more along the lines of what's new with the club, anything to do with the clubhouse, things like that, fundraisers, events that are going on, while also being able to create subgroups that are more specific to teams, practicing any message from coaching staff, and etc. So the idea isn't to eliminate these channels that have already been created. It's to essentially just consolidate all the channels into one platform so that everyone knows this is where you go to communicate with the Montreal Irish, whether it's to do with senior men training, senior women's program, minis, etc.
And that allows us to have like central communication broadcasts. So when we give that to our communications guy, which is Max Mousset at the moment, although Connor's taken a lot of that on with Max. So we give that to them, and then they would log into our central platform, again, example, Sport Lomo, and they say, okay, yeah, this is team specific, or this is rugby specific, and this is all rugby of all ages, or this is just rugby of this age group, or this is just for our coaches, or this is for everybody. And they can do that with just a click of a button, a drop down, selecting their groups. That's what we're aiming for.
Okay, really cool. It sounds exciting, guys. We'll be following that, the progress on that with interest. Just switching gears a little bit here. I was hoping, I was going to ask you guys.
This is Bob. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob. What is it?
It's a macaque. It's a macaque.
Oh, a macaque. Oh, there you go.
Oh, just lost.
I don't know what kind of monkey it is, man. It looks like a macaque. I don't know. Someone who knows monkeys can comment and correct me on that.
It kind of looks like Martin Buckle.
Martin Buckle had a 2-hour phone call with Martin Buckle just after our last meeting. I think the next night he called me and we chatted for 2 hours. I haven't talked for 2 hours to Martin Buckle maybe ever. And that was great. But that was like a nice example of like how this brings people together in great ways. And we were able to talk a lot about the long-term development plan. I won't go into details, but it was really great. So there you go. Hi, Martin.
That's awesome. He'd be a good person to have on that. Switching a little gears here again, James, tu me parlais du fait que Mike Webb, il essaie de faire l'histoire du club et de rédiger quelque chose. Je ne sais pas exactement c'est quoi. Peut-être que tu pourrais me parler un peu de cette initiative de Mike et du exec.
Oui, absolument. Mike Webb est notre secrétaire. Nous sommes parlé un peu de lui la dernière Zoom. Puis, il m'a approché cette semaine pour demander juste si je suis d'accord, s'il va faire un petit projet au niveau de l'histoire du club. En fait, une liste de tous les capitains depuis 1957, une liste de les plupart des joueurs, comme un record fixe de toutes les coupes que nous avons gagnées dans toutes les années. C'était fait à notre 5e anniversaire par Frank Rooney. Puis Mike, il va prendre toute l'information que Frank avait assemblée, puis il va travailler encore plus pour agrandir le picture, l'histoire en total, puis aussi ajouter toutes les années après notre 5e. Maintenant, c'est notre 63 anniversaire, je pense, si la mathématique est correcte. Et ça, c'était cool. Parce que Mike, il est venu à Montréal dans 1962. Il a joué ou peut-être 1963, mais une semaine après, il avait sorti le bateau. Il avait joué son premier match pour Montreal Irish. Puis après ça, il avait parti pour Vancouver, je pense, ou Toronto. Il est revenu, il a joué encore. Il est parti pour Jamaïque. Il avait habité à Jamaïque pendant plusieurs années. Puis il est revenu, il a joué encore dans les années 80 comme capitaine de notre troisième équipe. Donc, il était quelqu'un qui était là pour beaucoup de nos histoires, puis il est encore avec nous. Donc, je pense que ça va être vraiment cool de voir qu'est-ce que son plan. Puis, je veux juste faire un petit teaser parce qu'on a parlé l'année passée un peu de faire un documentaire, une docu-series Heritage to Legacy. Puis maintenant, on va peut-être avoir une base de travailler avec. On va avoir la base de Mike, puis la personne qui va travailler sur le projet de Heritage to Legacy, il peut avoir une guideline, un map qui est déjà fait. Puis si quelqu'un est intéressé avec l'expérience de vidéo, photo, et il veut être impliqué dans ce projet-là, envoie un message parce que ça va être très cool. Ça va être comme un petit documentaire de notre club. De 1957, on va faire des entrevues avec le monde qui a joué pour nous pendant ce temps-là. C'est ça. Puis peut-être un coffee table book dans le genre de Dave Crandall.
OK. Ça, c'est moi.
C'est toi avec Joe Exotic.
En fait, c'est intéressant parce que je regardais sur Facebook un des joueurs de TMR, il s'appelle Dave, vous connaissez sûrement tous. Lui avait fait le topo de chaque équipe qui avait gagné les Prems depuis le début de la Ligue au Québec.
Ah oui.
Et ce qui était vraiment intéressant, là, c'est que les Irish figuraient dans les top 3, je pense, des équipes, dans des clubs, avec Sainte-Anne-de-Bellevue et peut-être les Barbs. Pas certain, mais si tu regardes la liste, Juice, Paul Van Wyck, je pense qu'à lui tout seul, il figure comme deuxième après Sainte-Anne-de-Bellevue. So, moi, je trouvais ça très, très drôle. Mais quelque chose à peut-être souligner dans les projets de Mike.
Anyway, c'est une bonne idée. Ouais, je vais chercher l'information que Dave avait assemblée. Parce que ça, c'est sur Facebook et je ne sais pas si Mike est actif sur Facebook.
Last question for maybe either of you, both of you, whatever it is, and something we talked about a bit earlier, and something that quite interesting, at least for me and some other people of my vintage, our vintage. But are there any plans in order to celebrate the 10th year anniversary of the 2010 Prems Cup, the first one in many years?
Connor?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been something that's been brought to our attention by several members, both past and present. It was an exciting time. It was a time that many of us wish we could relive, but what better way, if we can't relive it, why not relive it through a celebration of the past? And in the meantime, I got a new piece of jewelry. It's a tiger eye.
I'd like to give some credit to Habitat as well. You mentioned him earlier. Habitat suggested that this week, and I was like, oh yeah, that is a really good idea. That's a memory that I can't ever erase out of my mind. Not that I would ever want to. Is like how packed the sidelines were at St. Julie that day when we won that trophy, man. I've never seen St. Julie as vibrant as it was that day ever before or since. That was quite, and you'll see in the photos, not just the players that were on the field, although like we were fortunate to be some of those players, but you'll see the whole club, just the jubilation under the post and all the pictures of that day. Like, that's a party night I won't forget. That's for sure. That was amazing. So it'd be great, and that's our plan, is to have a 10-year reunion, and hopefully this virus gets the hell out of the way.
Absolutely, and it'll give us an opportunity to compare our ankle tattoos.
Live music as well.
Yeah, to go with your new sleeve.
We might be able to sneak in a couple exotic animals.
All right. Well, listen here now, Joe and Joe. Is there anything else before we sign off here from the Oklahoma Zoo?
Thanks, Joe. You're from Grady Prison. Thanks, Joe.
You know, if I could say one thing, it'd be because I saw tigers, and now I understand. I saw a tiger, and a tiger saw a man.